yeah, obviously the show's coming out at a time where, I mean, culturally too, ideas of polarizing themes of darkness and light, and how that kind of flourishes itself into things that are happening right now. Are you surprised that a lot of what you guys were writing is relevant to today, even more so?
Sadly, no. I mean, that's the thing. It's like I think we're learning more about it, but tomorrow there's going to be a big march, and teenagers are leading us, and I think that's no coincidence. I'm happy we're able to tell a story that bolsters. Again, you look at these kids from Parkland and how they're basically trying to be superheroes. We're very fortunate to hopefully support that idea.
And looking forward, to future episodes, is a lot of you and the writing team going to continue to kind of maybe put an ear down to what's happening in the world, or is it just completely, for you in the comic background, something that you just want to take entirely from the characters?
No, I think it's important. I think that's what Marvel's always done. Even like with the original Cloak and Dagger, they were trying to, it wasn't always artful, but when Power Pack and Cloak and Dagger were trying to deal with drugs, they were trying to do well. And I think Marvel, when I was growing up, kind of did that for me. So I think what we want to do is me and the writers talk a lot about what are some real crimes that are more evil than the things you read in comic books. There's a lot of things that we kind of turn a blind eye to, so it'll be fun to shine some light on it. Sorry for the horrible pun. But I think we want to tell emotional characters about our, stories about our characters first and foremost. And I like the idea of some Marvel heroes that are dealing with some real problems.
Yeah.
So are you able to tell us any of the things you're hoping to shine a light on?
I can tell you the things I'm looking into. When I was working on Underground, which was my last show, I was talking to someone who was an expert on slavery, and I was asking him where in the world is slavery still the worst. And he pointed right to the highway, and he said that we don't deal with this in season 1 at all, but it's really interesting, and there's so much human trafficking going on in the United States, and I know nothing about it. And so it feels like if we can make an entertaining enough show and put these two beautiful, talented kids in a way that, honestly, if 3 million people watch the show and one of them sees something at a truck stop and stops something, then good on us.
So, the idea of putting it in New Orleans, and I know New Orleans has had a real issue, especially after Katrina, of gentrification and the, rich white people moving in, and while they built things up, it pushed black people out more, and we had this couple of, a white woman and a black man in New Orleans. Are you going to be looking at that dynamic a little bit? I know I can't remember from the comics, one of them is rich and one of them is coming from what's the background on that, and can you talk a little bit about that?
We flipped the script a little, so it's we actually had them start from very different socioeconomic places and then swap. But I think it's important. I think, one of our big bads is a corporation that does exactly what you were saying. They kind of take advantage of communities, and sadly business interests are more important than the interests of the community. And again, kind of like the Parkland kids, Tandy and Tyrone are the ones who stand up and say, hold on a second, this isn't fair. And they're the one, season 1, without spoiling too much, is a boy against an entire police department and a girl against an entire corporation. And, it's a good fight.
Just to be clear, this big corporation you're talking about is
I feel like I need a lawyer right here.
what you say?
I'm sorry, I cannot comment.
It sounds like you're dealing with a whole bunch of real life situations. How much are you going to be going into like their powers that they have and the superhero side of it?
That's always part of it, but I think what I wanted to do is I've never been angry at a show for leaning into the emotion and the character. So I'd rather be inclusive and feminist and awesome and make you cry from a scene between a mother and a daughter. But by the end of it, they are saving the city. So I'm really happy with what the writers and I were able to come up with in terms of pace, and how each director for every hour was really able to kind of latch onto the theme and make a different hour every week.
Like, big character development is like something that Marvel TV does very well, and they've fleshed out their characters so well. Is this how we're going to see?
Absolutely. It's funny when we talk about how kind of racist and sexist the old version was. One of the things that drove me crazy is the kind of Tyrone is associated with fear and Tandy is associated with hope. So we blew that up, and and kind of put Tyrone on a spectrum of fear to bravery. And so we'll see Aubrey in really an amazing performance start off as a scared little boy, and over the course of 10 episodes, with some pitfalls and some setbacks, find his way to be a hero. And then Tandy will start off cynical as shit, sorry for swearing, but it's about her climbing back and finding hope, and then getting knocked down again and deciding to be a hero or not. So I think what we're hoping to do is what Marvel does really well on the film and the TV side, really have people grow into their responsibility.
Yeah, there's some conflict there that they're going to have, not just with each other in the world, but within themselves.
That's exactly it, and I think that's the most exciting thing to me. And I think, you know, we were able to do in 10 episodes a kind of little mini hero's journey where they go through the entire ringer, and, you know, hopefully by the time we get going in episodes 3 and 4, you really start seeing yourself in them, so it becomes your battle, and it's hard not to watch these two kids and just like fall in